Stop feeding the model one file. Gemini 3.1 Pro reads 1 million tokens.
Welcome to the Gemini 3.1 Pro Preview Vibe Coding Guide. In this session, we will learn how to build full applications using AI Studio, Antigravity, the Gemini CLI, and the API. The goal is to give you a practical, production-aware workflow you can adopt immediately after this presentation. Gemini 3.1 Pro merges the standard and DeepThink cores into a single architecture. Deep reasoning is now baked into the default model, prioritizing reliability over experimental behavior. Existing Gemini 3 workflows continue to run unchanged, but gain more consistent reasoning quality out of the box. Several metrics justify this release. Gemini 3.1 Pro ships, February 19, 2026. As a point update, but doubles prior ARC AGI 2 scores to 77.1%. It resolves over 80% of SWE bench GitHub issues and is priced at $2 per million input tokens via the official API, enabling cost-effective large-scale adoption. You can access Gemini 3.1 Pro for free through 4 entry points. AI Studio in the browser is ideal for rapid prototyping. Antigravity, an IDE, supports agent orchestration. The open-source CLI integrates with local workflows, while the Gemini App Canvas is best for quick experiments and disposable builds. Reasoning depth should match task complexity. Use low depth for boilerplate and formatting. Medium, the default, fits everyday coding and feature work. Reserve high depth for complex debugging and multi-step architecture. This discipline keeps quality high while controlling latency and compute costs. iStudio offers a zero setup workflow. Open it directly in your browser. No API keys or credit cards required. From there, switch into build mode to generate immediately runnable code prototypes. This makes it an excellent training ground for teams new to large model-assisted development. Effective full app prompts follow a clear schema. Specify the tech stack to lock frameworks and storage. Detail features to enumerate behaviors and data. Describe design to control layout and aesthetics. Finally, define a strict return format so the model outputs single-file, production-ready React components. Here is a worked example: a personal finance tracker. We define a React and Tailwind stack with local storage only. Features include transaction entry, animated charts, and real-time balances. The design is a minimalist dark mode. The format demands a complete single-file React component ready to run. Gemini 3.1 Pro supports up to 65,000 output tokens, preventing truncation on complex builds. Earlier models often stopped mid-generation, forcing manual stitching. With this capacity, the model can emit entire multi-file architectures or large modules in a single, consistent generation step. To initialize the Python API client, install the official Google SDK and import Gemini. Create a client instance, then call Generate Content with the model string set explicitly to Gemini 3.1 Pro Preview. This ensures your application targets the correct preview model during development and testing. You can escalate reasoning depth programmatically. Use Generate Content config with a thinking config parameter, for example, setting thinking level to high. Pass this config into Generate Content when analyzing architecture or other critical flows, trading some latency for deeper, more reliable reasoning. Agents gain significant capability when equipped with native tools. Through configuration, you can enable Google search for grounded, real-time information and code execution for mathematical validation. These tools allow Gemini to cross-check outputs, improving accuracy for analytical and data-heavy tasks. To optimize both output and context costs, refine your prompts. Appending return only the code removes explanatory filler, reducing tokens. Additionally, enable context caching where available. This can cut repeated context costs by up to 75% across iterative development sessions. Thinking level directly impacts spend. Low depth is cheapest and suited to boilerplate. Medium depth, our recommended default, balances cost and quality for standard feature work. High depth is the most expensive and should be reserved for complex debugging, design reviews, and critical architectural changes. The 4-part prompt schema enforces discipline. Tech stack prevents framework guessing. Features validate the model's ability to wire events. Design constrains visual variables to your brand. Return format guarantees machine-parsable, copy-ready code. Together, these rules significantly reduce rework. Temperature is often misconfigured. For Gemini 3.1 Pro, keep temperature locked at the strict 1.0 default. Lower values can degrade performance and cause looping. Instead, control determinism through thinking depth. Always begin sessions at medium depth, then adjust only when task complexity demands it. Preview models face production load limits. Under heavy public traffic, response times can exceed 100 seconds and trigger timeouts. Mitigate this by expecting latency and implementing a fallback model. Wrap calls in try-except blocks so failures automatically route to a stable secondary model. Workspace design also matters. Antigravity and the CLI currently assume a single root folder. Monorepos or multi-root setups can create integration friction. The recommended approach is to consolidate to one SRC root per tracked issue or feature branch, simplifying navigation and model context management. Even with an 80.6% SWE bench score, roughly 1 in 5 generative fixes may still fail. Subtle architectural errors can slip through. Organizations should mandate automated testing, human code review, and high thinking depth for critical paths before trusting generated logic in production environments. To deploy vibe coding in production, follow a simple checklist. Confirm temperature remains at 1.0. Validate critical architecture with high thinking depth, and then initialize deployment. The workflow is free and ungated. No paywall or certification required, so teams can focus entirely on delivering value.